Hey, what's going on? I figured I'd do a video. I have some time and I have some electricity and internet, so I'm gonna roll with it. It's not the same background you're used to, so I figured I'd give you a little bit of eye candy to look at. This was one of the few things I took out of my apartment before I left, and as weird as it was, I took the NRA bug out bag. That was something I thought I would never need. If I could take anything away from this experience, I'll tell you. Me personally, I've never been through anything like this, and it was just amazing and just really uncool. The most important things I learned, lessons that I learned from the whole experience were always have a full tank of gas. Because the lines for gas were 5 hours long here, even if you could get gas. But there were nice people with 5-gallon gas tanks, like the big red ones, that were standing on the side of the road selling them full for $500. You see in situations like this people at their worst and people at their best. And I saw my share of people at their worst. I also saw people selling spots in line to get gas for $100. I saw people selling generators that the boxes had cinder blocks in them. They weren't generators. You see so many people, capitalize on other people's misery, and I saw so much of that. And then I saw so much good stuff, especially the Red Cross. I mentioned that before. Feeding stations, barbecues. It was like a fantastic barbecue they threw. This is the Smith & Wesson 66. This is definitely turning into being my favorite handgun. My Beretta 9mm PX4 Storm, fantastic, works flawlessly, never had a problem with it, but it just doesn't have the star power of a revolver or a 1911. That's just star power. They just fantastic to look at, beautiful firearms. There's nothing in here. This is a 66 with no dash. A lot of the gun forums tout this as the all-time best personal carry weapon ever made. Well, I don't know about that, but it's pretty groovy. The original wood grips that came with this, they're a little uncomfortable. When I bought this one, I didn't have to go through that because it had these awful Pachmeyer rubber grips on it. So I changed them out for these rosewood grips. And it's just, it's something about a revolver. They're just so classy, and you get a lot of people saying, "Oh, but it doesn't have the capacity of a minigun." That's not the point. And then you get the people that argue like, "Well, the average gunfight is between 3 and 5 shots." I don't know about that. I've never been in a gunfight, but I've always subscribed to the theory something's better than nothing. And this is just the quality is top notch. I shot this maybe 2 weeks ago. And even for me, I suck. I'm not a good shot. I never claimed to be a good shot, but I got on target a few times. Nothing crazy. It's a lot shorter barrel than I was used to. This is a 2.5. I believe they make in the 686 they do a 4-inch and a 6-inch. But I didn't have the opportunity or the money to get one of those. This is just one of those things that came my way. A lot of things come my way. It wasn't what I was shopping for at the time, but when I actually saw it, and it came out of nowhere. It wasn't even up on the table for grabs. I saw it and I fell in love with it. Even those horrible grips, I fell in love with it. And with these grips, I think the grips absorb a lot of the recoil. As far as the 38 rounds that I shot through here, very manageable, very easy. Yeah, the 357's got a little more punch to it, but I think the larger grips definitely tone down that recoil. And this one is the one with the recessed. I did a video on before, but I figured it'd be something to look at. Most of the people who watch my videos are into guns. This is the one with the recessed cylinders and the pin barrel. And this one was a 66 with no dash. Just model dot 66, no 1, 3, none of that stuff. I believe this was actually made when I was 5 years old. That's from the numbers, that's what I got out of it. It's made in America. The rosewood grips actually came from Indonesia. The difference between $700 grips and $45 grips, and from the $700 grips, these are much nicer and much less money. And believe it or not, it actually came quicker than this that came from Oregon, the holster. I'm going to look into getting it in the pants holster for this. It's in the pants. It's a pants party. 357 Smith & Wesson style. So I figured I'd show that to you. And I'll talk about some cool stuff, you know. It's been a bad couple weeks for me. We had no power, no electricity, no internet. It was freezing cold, and I touched on having gas was important. I actually had that little buddy heater that takes the 1 pound or 2 pound propane canisters, which pretty much kept me from freezing. And I had the Coleman camp stove. In hindsight, I think I'll get the refiller for the propane cylinders because it's just, you don't get much play out of those little canisters. And I'm not too crazy about the hose either. Not them hose, I'm talking about the hose like that goes with the camp stove. So I'm going to get the attachment to fill my bottles back up, but I would recommend getting the brass jacketed screw tops for it, because it seems like when you fill the propane canisters up again, they tend to leak for a while, which kind of freaks me out. Maybe it stops, but I don't know. I just want to read a letter here. I got this letter from Salty Shellback, and it was funny because I'm one of those people, I don't like taking things from people. I always said when I started making these videos, I would never ask you for money. I always said that, and I've always stuck by that. He had asked me pretty much right after the storm, could I send you a care package out? And I was between places. I was at my parents' place, I was at friends' places, I was crashing in the house for a little while before they threw me out and told me I couldn't go back, and tangling around with FEMA and that kind of crap. And I was at my parents' house, and I went to the mailbox, and I was trying to get my unemployment set up because the restaurant that I work at was destroyed by the hurricane. And I saw a letter in there, and I looked at the name on the letter, and I knew who it was, and I was like, wow, he sent me a letter to see how I'm doing, and I thought that was really cool. So I'll read the letter for you. I gotta tell you, this got me so choked up when I took it out of the mailbox, I almost fell on my head, but I'll get to that in a second. So I opened up I'll leave the name out. We'll just say Salty Shellback. Hey Kevin, glad you and Noodles got out safely. I'll keep praying for you. For now, I hope the cash will help. It's not much, but I know you need it more than I do. And when I opened the letter, I was expecting a letter. And when I opened the letter, $100 and 20s fell out. That was one of the nicest things someone ever did for me, ever in my life. Keep the faith, bro. I know something good will come your way. Take care, and God bless. I just was blown away, and it took me like a day for it to even really sink in, because it got food on my table, it put gas in my gas guzzling car. I bought more batteries, I bought more propane tanks, and I bought some food. Of course I bought some Miller High Life, but it was like the coolest thing anyone on YouTube has ever done for me, and I would definitely consider him my friend. People just don't do stuff like that. And for all the times that I do get down on people in the videos and the comments I get, something always drags me back and says there are cool people out there, and you may have never met them, but they're out there. And I just thought that was really cool. I'd make a mention of that. He had told me if I wanted to make a video about it, he was cool with it, but if I didn't, he was also cool that it wasn't like a publicity stunt or anything wacky like that, because a lot of people do that. They throw gifts your way to get a mention, and by far, we go back and forth with videos he does. There's only, I said a lot of times with YouTube, there's only a few people, and I don't mean it in a bad, but there's only a few people that actually watch their videos, and watch them on a regular basis, and it would be definitely Salty Shellback. I like Cutler Lover. I like Sack 68. I like the Armory channel, my Hollow Point, Log Cabin Looms. hemp seed addict. You know, I watch these people's videos all the time, and it's just, I think you kind of gravitate toward maybe a style. When I was in high school, I was never the coolest guy. I'll always readily admit that, you know. And I found my friends, the people that we had things in common. We kind of thought the same way, and our sense of humor was the same, in the same genre, you know. And I think the same thing is with YouTube. You find people you kind of gravitate toward because you like what they have to say, and you genuinely, you can pick out cornballs. I mean, that's easy enough. Just look for the guy with the sunglasses on, like, hey, yo, look at me, look how dangerous I look. You know, I just run from that kind of stuff. But I want to put a video up. I'll get more videos up when I get more settled, because I'm still kind of bouncing around trying to get things back together. But what I was touching on in the beginning, this is just a phenomenal looking gun. And I know a lot of people are like, no, it's not, you know, it's not all about the looks. But in this case, man, it's all about the looks. You got the performance, but you really do have great looks. It's a little hard to get the burn marks out of there. But another one I watch all the time is the Yankee Marshal. And this isn't a promotional video, but I think his videos are super duper informative about little goofy things, like how to get those burn marks out without using all these tough astringent chemicals, you know, how to polish out a handgun. One of the other things I was looking at, I've been kind of keen, I've always been keen on the Bulgarian Makarov, I think that's Bulgarian, and I kind of wanted one that was new, so I kind of found that in the CZ 83 and the 82. I think the 82 is a 9x18, and the CZ 83 is the 9mm Browning. Simple blowback design, manageable recoil. It's just a cool gun, cool carry gun. It's not the smallest gun in the world, but the cool factor's way up there. I put the cool factor in there with the PK, you know, the Bonds gun. I like that one, and I think Smith & Wesson does it now, but I think I'm going to go for the CZ, and that'll probably be my next purchase. I really want another 1911, so I'm kind of up in the air. Money's tight. I can afford the CZ, and I definitely want to get a 1911, but I really don't want to get the. I was looking at the Rock Island, and you know, it's a cool gun. Cool, you know, I like it. There was a couple other ones I like also. I like the Ruger SR 1911. You can actually get it now. It was such a long time you couldn't get it, and they're turning up now for about $780. And I like the Remington R1. And one of the ones I really like, and the price has really been going through the roof, is one I saw on my Hollow Point, was the Colt New Agent. Really, I was really jazzed about that, and I still am. And I know it was going for 900 and something by me, and I watched it go up about $400, almost $500 recently. So honestly, I never hear anything bad about Colt. You know, I mean, some of the edges are sharp sometimes, but I never hear any like bad functioning. You know, I just never hear that. Occasionally a magazine problem or something like that, but not too much. So that's my short video. That's what's going on with me. Give you a little eye candy, a little gun porn there, you know, and touch base with you. I'll touch base with you guys again when, like I said, when I get up and running again later.